Hey everybody, my name's Steven. I'm going to take this video and I'm going to kind of document the progress of this car. I'm also going to use this video as an introductory to the channel to show you guys what we're going to do and what you're probably going to see from it. Let's start with the beginning. This is a 66 Mustang. This car has been in my family for many years. My boys and I have been working on it for about 2 years. We've done a lot of work to it. There's a lot more left to do. We should have started documenting this better 2 years ago when we started the process, but we didn't. So I'm using this to kind of catch up now. As I said, the car has been in my family for many years. I want to document everything I found about the car and all the stories I have on the car for my kids, and just so all this information continues down the road. Excuse me. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Hopefully you guys learned something. You can laugh at us, you can laugh with us. We're gonna do a lot of car videos, garage videos, and maintenance on vehicles and stuff like that. Because part of this process doing this car, I'm also teaching my boys how to do basic stuff. I am not a mechanic, I am not a body man, but I do enjoy working on cars and I enjoy the body work. And we're cheap, so almost everything that's happened to this car, we've done ourselves. Teaching my boys as we go. So let's start off with the car. As I said, it's a 1966 Mustang. The car, according to the butt plate, the VIN numbers, and the other tags throughout the car, from what I can tell, the car was made in September of 1965, which is an early 66 car. That doesn't mean a whole lot to some people, but it's part of the history, and that's why we document all this stuff down. The car is a A-code car, which means it is a 4-barrel 289. Factory engine was a 2-barrel 289, and the 4-barrel was about 25 more horsepower. And when you're talking, now when you have 1,000, 25 is not a big difference. But the difference between 200 and 225, that is a noticeable difference. And that's what this car was factory. It has 3-speed transmission. It has an open diff 3.0 rear end. It has no power steering, no power brakes, but it has the deluxe interior. Looks like this car was special ordered. For the combinations, whatever they wanted, this is what they got. So the car has upgraded interior, but none of the power options up front. Not a big deal. The car is original. Has the original engine, carburetor, interior, transmission, rear end. The wheels have been swapped. I have the new ones over there. I have the hubs over there, but I only have 3 hubs, so I need another hub. Let's see, driver's door, driver's fender was replaced. Other than that, the car is all original. It's in great shape for what it is, and I'll get into the reason for that here in a moment. My dad bought the car in spring of 67. He drove this car as a daily driver for years. My parents met in this car. My parents dated in this car, and my parents fell in love in this car. Now, before you say it, I fully understand what probably happened in this car while they were dating, but that was well before my time. That was 67, 68. I wasn't born until 77, so that was 10 years before me, so I'm choosing to ignore all of that. Let's see, what else? He drove the car as a daily driver. Around 68 or 69, it wasn't an accident. Some of that damage was repaired. Most of that damage was repaired back then. There was a few things that were not. There was a few things I have done, and there's a few things left to do. Nothing major. Let's see, around 72, the car got moved from a daily driver to a weekend car and special occasions. So my dad still drove it. It just wasn't an everyday kind of thing. In 78, the car got parked off the road full time, and then it became, it just set. In South Carolina, which is where the car was, it has, they have inspections, and there's a 78 sticker in the window. The license plate that came off the car is also 78. So 78, the car came off the road. Excuse me again. So he drove the car for just over 10 years, and then it got parked. Now in the mid 80s, he had cranked the car up to move it for something. Engine made a weird noise. He parked it. And to the best of my knowledge, from everything I'm seeing and everything I'm hearing, that's the last time this car was cranked. Now, a little more backstory on the car. Let's see. Growing up, it was always going to be my sister's car. It was going to be hers, and I was going to get something else. So I never thought about the car a whole lot. But in the summer of 2017, my dad came up and he helped me on my F-150. I had a 78. I was doing a lot of rust repair, cab corners, floor pans, a handful of things that need to be replaced to get the car or get the truck back to good condition. He came up for a week. We did all the body work, had an awesome time. My dad was a body man for Ford back in the 80s. So he taught me a lot of stuff on that truck. Really, really enjoyed that week. The following year, so that was 17, in the fall of 2018, I told my dad, I said, I want to restore this Mustang. The Mustang had been kept on his farm underneath a shed or underneath a lean-to for years. It was always on the farm. Most of the time it was up on blocks to keep good airflow underneath the car so it didn't rust out. But it was sitting there waiting to be restored. So in 2018, I told him I wanted to do it. And to my surprise, he agreed. In December of that year, he said, I can have the car. So I started making plans to have the car brought from North Carolina to Indiana, which is where I am, and sold my truck. So I sold my F-150, made room in the garage, found the guy online that was coming through the area at that time. Actually called him on the phone. He said, oh yeah, I'm in Florida. I'm going to Michigan. I'm driving right by your dad's house and your house, and I have a trailer with nothing on it. So great deal. Guy hauled the car up for $500. That was June 2019. That's when me and my boys started working on the car. Since then, went through the engine. Engine was seized. Did our best to break it free. Couldn't do it. Pulled it. The rear passenger cylinder was froze solid. Had to drive it out with a hammer and a 2x4. It was really tight. So I don't know what caused the noise in the 80s, but whatever it was, we replaced it. Took the engine to the local CNC shop. They bored it 30 over. They cleaned the engine block, did everything they needed to do, sold me the kit to reassemble everything. So me and a buddy reassembled the engine here in my garage. That is the first time I'd ever reassembled an engine. It's the first time I ever taken an engine that far apart. It was it was a challenge. I'm glad I did it. I am more than willing to do it again. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. But we rebuilt the engine, dropped it back in the car, and then we had other issues which I didn't know about until later. But while the engine was out, we straightened the frame up a little bit. It was still a little bit bent, corrected that issue. We put new brakes, wheel cylinders, drums, hardware, brake lines, master cylinder, everything on the brakes is new. Fuel line, same way. Fuel system rather. Fuel tank, fuel line, all the way up to the carburetor, all new. Suspension, driver's side suspension has been completely redone. Passenger side, I still need to do upper and lower control arm, and I need to do the ball joints. I have them, they're in the trunk. I just have to put them in. We're gonna be a video on that. That's all I can think of off the top of my head that we've done at this point. The car, I have flushed the transmission and the rear axle, all new fluids, all ready to go. New drive, U-joints in the drive shaft, again, all ready to go. Last month, I tried rebuilding the carburetor, screwed it up. So I had talked to a local buddy from the Mustang Club. He looked at it and said, hey, I know a guy that knows carburetors really good. Let's take it to him. Turned out to be O'Daniel Restoration, which is O'Daniel is a large car dealership here in town. They'd have a restoration business on the side for old classic cars. That's who his buddy was. He rebuilt my carburetor for me. Talking to him about the rebuild of the carburetor, I also told him that my engine was new and I had not broke it in. He said, well, bring it over here. We'll help you break it in for the first time. So last month. Put the car on had the car towed over to O'Daniel. We fired this thing up for the first time. Had a couple issues. Had a condenser and coil, new out of the box, were defective. So fighting that, once we figured that out, we got it all set. Now, I think that brings you up to speed on the car at this point in time. What we're going to do with the car is I need to put exhaust on it. I need to finish the suspension here on the passenger side, and that might be about it. At that point, this car will drive around the block. I have a video of the car cranking for the first time and a video of the car pulling out of the garage under its own power. So it does move back and forth, and I've already posted those videos. But I need this car driving around the block. It is June 2021. My dad is coming up in July. He has not driven this car in 40 years. So my goal is this car is going to be drivable with insurance on it this month or the first of next month. We're going to drive this car around together. It is, that's been my goal from the very beginning, is let him drive it again. So that's what we're going to do. After that, we are going to make this car a daily driver. I don't know if I'm going to drive it every day, but I'm going to drive it 5 or 6 days a week, for sure. It was 95 degrees, so a couple of days like that means I might want to put AC on the car, but I'm not. I've thought about swapping seats. I think that's it, and this will be a daily driver. Now, on the paint, a little bit of rust here, a little bit of rust back here. Driver's side's about twice that bad. The car is very, very solid. Very minimal rust. We are putting floor pans in the back seat. We are going to probably replace the driver's side fender. It's got some damage on it. I might be able to get it out, but I might not. But all that body work and all that, we're going to try to work on this summer, maybe this fall. And then next year, 2020, paint it. Might be 23. I don't know yet. Depends on how the process goes. I'm going to clean the paint again, clean the car up a little bit where my rust spots are. I'm going to treat them so they don't rust anymore, and just live with the patina for a year or so. That's to be the new thing now. Everyone, this side looks pretty good. I think it's going to be really nice. It's a nice amount of a little bit of shine, a little bit of rust coming through. This is all primer, but I'm really excited about that. Let's see, what else have I got? I think that's it for my notes. Okay, guys, so if you're interested in watching the progress of this, please subscribe. If you have comments or suggestions, please let me know. Along with the video, you're going to see my boys. We're going to be working on the car. We're probably also going to be working on other cars that we have. My boys are 16 and 19. Both of them have birthdays here in the next 2 months. So they both have their own cars. I have my own car. My wife has her own car. So there's always something that we're fixing around here. At least it seems that way. And I'm teaching my boys, how you do basic maintenance, how you do your own brakes, how do you do oil changes, you replace your alternator, your power steering pump, all that stuff. We're replacing those ourselves because I'm cheap. I'm not going to pay somebody. I had a friend that was quoted $1,700 for brakes on their car. That's ridiculous. There's no reason you should pay $1,700 to have brakes put on your car. I've already priced the brakes. All the parts themselves are going to cost less than $200. In an afternoon, we're going to put all brakes on the car. $1,700 is stupid money for a car. So as I tell my boys, we learn to do this stuff ourselves, save that money. If you guys had brakes done, it's easily $100 an axle. If you do them yourself, you're at $25. It's a no-brainer to me. Take a little bit of time, learn to do it, save yourself a whole lot of money. I think that's it. So if you guys are interested in the story of the car, if you're interested in see what we're going to be doing around here, please subscribe. Please comment below if you have questions or suggestions. If you just want to laugh at people that do shit wrong, subscribe. I'm not an expert. I do a lot of shit wrong, but as who was it? Somebody on YouTube says, if you're doing it wrong and it works, is it really wrong? That's my theory. I see no reason to, if it works, then it can't be that wrong. And I'm starting to ramble, so I'm getting off here. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching and staying with the video this long. Have a good day.